Welcome back, guys, and welcome to my first impressions of Black Ops 4. I've had a good bit of playtime in Black Ops 4 now. I've had, about 2 days. About to enter my first Prestige. So I really want to talk about the positives, the negatives, and normally I think I would do the positives first and go into the negatives, but they're kind of like intertwined, so I'm going to just talk about it both as we go along, the positives and the negatives. So the first thing I'm going to start out with is the Black Ops 4 maps. How good are these maps? Well, they work very well with the tactical game that the Treyarch tried to create here. They wanted, people to know where the gunfights were going to come from. Was it going to be from just two angles, 3 angles, 4 angles? And what happens is when you have a map that has too many like cuts down the middle or just cuts between the lanes, what ends up happening is you get angles. You can't cover all the angles. It makes it so it's more random and chaotic. In this case, they did their classic 3 lanes maps for most of the maps. There's some maps that aren't their normal 3 lanes. They're a little bit different. Their maps are a little bit rounded. But generally, they stuck to this 3-lane concept, and it has worked really well. There isn't a map in this game that I don't like. In terms of, say you're queuing into a game, and how many times in Call of Duty can you say the map turn up, you're like, oh my god, I don't want to play that one, and you vote for a different one, or in this case, it's like I feel like I'm voting for the map I want to play the most rather than the map I don't want to play. So that's a really, really nice thing to have, and it's because of the way they make these maps. It's why they're so good. And so along with this, how does the graphics, how do they measure up? The art style. The art style is, I like the graphics aren't as, it's not like your top-of-the-line graphics for a game, especially from a AAA gaming company. So, but the thing is, it's colorful. Where you have World War II, it's really dim, it's really just a dull. It has a dull look to it. It kind of like, I can't play it as long, and I think a lot of people would agree. It makes it hard to play over long periods of time. Whereas this has nice, bright, happy colors. You got beautiful beach scenery. You have, you're in Morocco. You're on that ice, in the summer where that submarine is on that one map. So that makes it really enjoyable and helps the longevity of just playing it over and over and over and over again. Of course, again, it does help that these maps are very quality as well in terms of the tactical play. So moving on, we are going to go to score streaks, which is why I have this up here. Score streaks. What makes score streaks so important to any Call of Duty game? They have to be powerful, and there has to be a multitude of score streaks. That's the 2 biggest things every time, no matter what Call of Duty you play, there has to be those 2 things. So in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 15. We have 15 kill streaks. Is that good? Well, let's take a look. We go back to Black Ops 1. We have 22 kill streaks. Oh, sorry, that's Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2, we have 22 kill streaks. In Black Ops 3, we have 18 kill streaks. And then, if you go to the previous game, World War II, we have 13 kill streaks. So I think for me, it's very interesting that you can see a pattern where the games, as we all know, Call of Duty has had a bit of a downfall since, probably since Black Ops 2. Like, people haven't felt like the games have been as good as Black Ops 2. And I don't think it's a coincidence that there's less kill streaks in all these following games. Like, most people would agree that Black Ops 2 is better than Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 is better than World War II. And notice that each time the kill streaks or the score streaks are lower and there's less variety. Now, why is this important? When you're playing a game like Call of Duty, it's highly based on progress. It's progress or goals to achieve. And if you don't have that score streak to go for, or to like all those combos of score streaks you can go for, there's less motivation or goals to keep playing, to keep grinding it out, to keep having fun. And that's what score streaks are. They're a ton of fun. You feel so good when you get a score streak, and you can just play it for hours and hours and hours, and just with so much more enjoyment, because variety brings enjoyment. And obviously, clearly, they can make this happen because they've done it in the past. and why they've reduced the amount of score streaks is beyond me, honestly. It's really I don't quite understand that, because it's not like the score streaks aren't fair or they couldn't make these, a variety of score streaks fair like they have in the past. Not to mention, I think it's very important to point out that it's not because they don't want to give an edge to experienced players, because the beginner players can still experience these score streaks through the care package, as you can see right here. Once this care package falls, it randomly gives you any of these streaks. Like, I've actually gotten the gunship from a care package. Like, it's random, and you have a better chance of getting the lower ones, of course, but you can still get all these and still experience that fun gameplay that these allow. So again, I think it's really important that score streaks should continue to be added to this game. Yes, there's 15, and it's better than World War II, which there was 13. But you look back at Black Ops 2, there was 22 kill streaks. You got to keep adding more score streaks, Treyarch. You got to keep it going. It's because they set the bar so high. But that's what people enjoy. Everyone will tell you they need more score streaks, and the one that comes to mind that's missing from this list is the Hater or the VSAT in Black Ops 2, the Blackbird. These are all the same thing. They're basically a super UAV that really just allows you to see exactly the enemy movements. Again, there could be plenty more score streaks, but that's the big one that comes to mind. Why it's not in this game, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you guys. But moving on to the next thing. The next thing is time to kill. The time to kill in this game is very, very slow. Like, it takes a while to kill these guys comparatively to other Call of Duty games. Is it good or is it bad? I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's very good because it gives you it gives the person who has the better gun skill in a 1v1 to win. If it's a longer time to kill, giving the person who has the best aim, the best centering of their gun to win that gunfight. The downside is you cannot necessarily, I don't want to say you can't carry your team in this game, but it's much, much harder to carry your team in this game. A lot of times in this game, if your team is losing, you will lose very badly because you'll get spawn trapped, and as a single person, you can't just go and kill 1, 2, 3 people in succession like really quickly because they have too much health and they all have their guns aimed on you. Whereas other Call of Duty games, it didn't take as long to kill each individual person. And that actually gave the single person who maybe is more experienced on his team to carry the team. It allows him to quickly get those kills and carry the team. The time to kill is so long in this one, it makes that very, very difficult. I don't think it's impossible to carry a team. I'm not going to go ahead and say that. It's a little bit too early to really say that. But it's definitely a lot harder. So moving on to one of my favorite things about this Call of Duty, even though it should just be a given in any Call of Duty, is the created class, the Pick-10 system. You can see here where my cursor is in the top right, there is 10 slots that you can use to equip your class. So basically, if I clear all this stuff up, right, I have 0 slots, and now when I pick just anything, it's that 1 slot is filled up. Attachments are 1 slot, the secondary is 1 slot, any perks 1 slot, and then of course you have your classic wildcards. I know you guys don't need me to explain this to you too much. I know you guys already know this, but the big point here is finally, once again, we can choose whatever class we want. We can make whatever loadout we want. No real restrictions. This is how it always should be. It's probably one of the best things Call of Duty has come up with. So very, very, very happy to see this back again. So now we are going to go into Specialist. So, Specialist, are they good? Are they bad? I love Specialist personally. I think they add a lot of flavor to the game, a lot of variety. I know a lot of people think of it as a negative because it allows, to some people's mind, randomness. They're like, oh, I couldn't account for that Specialist ability. I couldn't account for that Specialist seeing me through that wall, and then while I was on a streak, and I just couldn't adapt. And For me, I think it just adds another level of mastery of the game. I too have had those situations where I'm on a streak and yes, the specialist is killing me, and I'm like, I was like pretty upset. But the fact of the matter is, once I get better, I'll be able to tell, just like, because you know about how long it takes like specialists to come up, or you can press tab and see what specialists the opponents are using, and you can kind of prepare for those abilities to pop up, and anticipate that. So I think it's just a higher level of understanding of the game, and I truly do like that. I know some people think it's just another thing to worry about and makes the game harder, but I think any game that challenges a player and makes it harder, makes that skill cap a little bit higher, I'm all for it. Shotguns. This is a very small bit to this segment, but it's something I think I have to go over. Shotguns in this game, they are not a primary weapon. They are a secondary weapon, as you can see right here. And they are much weaker. And I love this because it makes the game more tactical. Shotguns were a bit... not that you couldn't, again, account for them in other games. You could, but they really... If you had a whole team running shotguns, which would happen, it would just feel really chaotic and not as tactical. And they really wanted to make this game tactical, so I really think that was a smart choice. So I'm really, really happy about that. Overall, if I was to give an overall opinion of this game, I still think it needs work. I still think there's some content missing, like camos, and if you go into the personalization and go try to like equip outfits for your operators, there's like 3 like outfits where in Black Ops 3 you had all these like outfits you could equip, and you also had challenges to unlock all these, like a bunch of them. So I really think that's missing. There's again some other content that's definitely missing. I won't go into it. I'm sure you guys already know about that stuff. Again, it's more like visualization thing, gestures, etc. But again, the overall opinion is I really do like this game. I think it's going to be a great year of COD. Again, hopefully they add more score streaks. We know they're going to add more weapons. That's going to add variety. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you keep playing this game, keep grinding out. I'm going to Prestige right now. I've seen some of you guys already at Prestige 2. That's insane. I don't know how you guys do that. But I'll see you in the next video. Like, subscribe. I'm out.